back.
Ole.
We're back. Mick and Bobbe on the road, number 3.
Part 2. So it's season 2, episode 3. That's what's happening.
And we've got some very exciting news. Very exciting news.
Very exciting news.
We have
What are you talking about?
named our car.
Correct.
We've come up with a name. The name was a hard thing because it had to encompass as much of New Zealand.
It had to live up.
New Zealand.
The name had to be as good as Shaniqua was
Pretty
last
much.
year.
So the criteria was had to be a name that sums up New Zealand.
In
So
some way.
has to be somewhat unique, and it has to kind of describe the car. More importantly, it has to be channel the energy and the name of the car. So we came up with, really there was only one name it could be,
That's right.
and that is Legolas.
That's right.
Legolas. Because this thing struggles to get up hills. So it's a nice play on legless. It's white, which the character in Lord of the Rings is also with the white hair. And Lord of the Rings was filmed here. So really, there was no other option.
That's right.
So, if you're referring to Legolas, now you know what we're talking about.
I think we just spent 2 minutes too much on the car name.
But this car has proven to be pretty good.
That's right.
Anyway,
The fuel economy, if anything.
the fuel economy is
What is it, like almost 6 liters to 100?
It's 5.6 litres per 100 kilometres.
It's pretty damn good.
It's good. When fuels, we paid $2.48
It's a bit tilted, isn't it?
for fuel the other day. $2.48. That's ridiculous. So you want a good car, 5.6 kilometres per 100 when you're paying that much. Anyway, that's the car, Legolas. Woo! Done. So, last podcast we were driving to Franz Joseph. What was your take on Franz Joseph?
Did we do a cast of Franz Joseph?
No, we did one on the way there from Wanaka. What did you think about Franz Joseph?
Yeah, like I said, it reminds me of Vang Vieng, but it's not as good. Like, there's nothing to do there except for the glacier, and the thing about the glacier is it's awesome, but you can't walk up on it anymore. I was here 5 years ago, and you could just go on a tour where you walked onto the glacier and you climb your way up, and before you know it, there's nothing but ice around you. That was possible by the beginning of this year, and is no longer an option because the thing is melting, and the track up is gone essentially. So we pretty much had to do like a $400 helicopter ride to get up there, which we weren't really interested in. It's a lot of money. And
I might have been more interested in it if it was like beautiful blue skies and crystal clear.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was overcast and foggy, it's kind of like, you won't really be able to see much anyway.
Yeah.
And half of the value in that helicopter ride is in the photos you can snap on the way up there.
So the town itself, nothing really to do.
Not much doing. So I guess that was a little bit disappointing. I was pretty excited to see the glacier and certainly go for the walk, but yeah, it wasn't until we got there that we found out that wasn't really possible. So we kind of left there reasonably quickly, didn't we? We did a couple of like walks and stuff, and then jumped back in the car and went to Punakaiki.
But I gotta say that this is the first time ever that I've seen global warming actually have any type of impact on my life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where like I knew that this was possible before, and you can no longer do it because the thing is melting.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
It's an environmental plug. apparently,
I'm not one to speak.
Apparently, we're on the political scene now. Driving a 5.6
Given
litre
that
per 100 car.
didn't really need the heater last night, did we?
Turns out we did. Anywho, so we jumped back in the car and went to Punakaiki. Punakaiki is famous for the blowholes and the pancake racks.
Pancake racks. And the glowworms.
That was one of the coolest things that I've seen for like quite a while. I reckon.
Yeah.
Never seen it before.
I didn't know what it was. I was expecting these worms. Where the fuck are we going?
Let's go left.
That's right.
You better hit it. You better hit it, son.
I was kind of expecting like kind of see-through worms that were all kind of lit up, which would have been even more cool. But essentially, what it is like a walking LED light, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah,
like it looked like the stars.
the thing is fucking tilted, Doug.
Well, you can't.
There we go.
Righto. Yeah. So that kind of looked like the stars in the sky, which was pretty cool, but pitch black, obviously.
Yeah, it's a little cave you walk into, and at first, like, it was dark, so we didn't know where to go, what to do. There were no people there. All we had was our iPhones to light up the fucking cave. The rest was
they worked
pitch
pretty
black.
well.
They worked well, but we didn't know, like. So walked in there, and we didn't really see him until you kind of just turn off the flashlight.
Yeah, it took a little while to actually spot.
And when we saw it, it just looks like, because it's all you can see is it's pitch black and a bunch of lights.
Yeah,
they're very small, so
small,
it looks
green light.
It looks like as if you were outside on a clear evening and it's pitch black where you are, but you can see the stars. Because they're so small, they might as well it looks the same as the star does at night.
Yeah, but pitch black versus like when you like outside.
It never really gets that dark.
Yeah,
It was fucking really cool.
It was good. Yeah, really cool. That was a highlight. Show. And then we drove to Abel Tasman. Now, Abel Tasman had one of the best raps we'd ever had on a town. We met these guys in that was Wanaka, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wanaka.
And they were saying that Abel Tasman is number 2, was it, of the top 3 things that he'd seen?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And this guy had travelled everywhere.
He traveled to countries neither of us ever heard of before.
Yeah, he had done some serious.
They were on like an 18-month journey.
Traveling.
Him and his girlfriend.
And they'd only got back from. He was on a massive 12-month trip in 2009 or something. So it's 5 years. So he's done quite a bit of traveling. But anyway, Abel Tasman, he gave it a huge rap. Said it was one of the best places he'd ever been. And we thought, well, we're heading up this way anyway, we might as well just go there for the night. And it was pretty good, wasn't it? I mean, it's an amazing national park that you can walk to. It's a 52-kilometre walk if you want to go do the whole thing through the national park. You can just camp and stay at some of the huts and all that kind of stuff.
No, that was fucking cool.
But Bobbe and I just did a 10k kind of walk up into the mountains and stuff, and the views were spectacular out over the water. It's like that turquoise blue colour, beautiful sandy beaches.
Throw some photos in the video.
Yeah, we got some good photos that you're probably looking at now. It's amazing countryside, and very, very picturesque. And then on the way back, we thought we'd just take the coastal route, so we walked along the beach. And walked along some rocks and then spent a fair bit of time actually walking on the sand, didn't we? It was pretty hard going, buddy.
Yeah, so the track itself was quite high up. So if you wanted to get down on the beach, that was like a 10-minute detour. So we went down on the beach and we didn't really know if we could get back, just walking the beach, because there would be beach and then a bunch of rocks and then maybe another beach and then a bunch of rocks.
Headlands. Yeah.
So we started walking on the beach and we're like, are we going to be able to get up here? And then there was a lot of that, do we commit, do we keep going, or do we turn back? That's what I hate. You know why? I just figured it out. You know why I hate turning back? Because it means I've made a mistake. That's why I don't like turning back.
It's hard to admit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I pretty much committed pretty early on. Like I would just go around the bend and see, can I see the beach now? There was more rocks, just like another 20 meters forward. And I'm like, all right, I'll go check around that bend. And I would see more rocks, and I'm like, all right, I can see a beach over there somewhere. And eventually it ended up being like a 25-minute shortcut. So it was, well, worth it in the end.
Plus it was a new track, and we'd walk the other one as well, which we don't like.
Yeah.
Don't like going the same path twice if you don't have to.
Yeah, that's right. So that was really cool, and just remembered, we've just learned something. I mean, we're both quite well traveled, but we've just learned something that was another tip from this guy that travels a lot. And it's a very obvious tip, but it's also very good. Like, whenever you go somewhere new, the first thing you do is go to the information desk and just ask them, you know, where do I stay? Where do I eat? What do I do here? And it's so helpful to talk to a human being versus just going online and like figuring stuff out and reading like TripAdvisor reviews.
That's good for people like us, because we don't plan anything. So we go there and we're like, all right, what's good to do here? And they tell us.
Yeah.
But other people probably do a lot of research and like.
But even still, like that research, I feel doesn't usually compare to what we've been able to find out from the people at the information desk. So
but we haven't done the research. When did we research?
I would still advise people to do that. I mean,
oh, definitely. I like 100%. Like, even if you've researched the hell out of it online, I'd still absolutely go to the information desks. They're incredible. But I can see why people that do all the research don't even bother with it, because they already know what they want to do. But for us, because we don't do anything, we don't plan anything, we've just been fronting up now. Yeah. We didn't have accommodation at 8:30 last night.
And we had a pretty good room.
Yeah, it worked out well. But that's the other thing that we've noticed though about traveling in the low season, hey, like, or shoulder season as they call it. It's very easy. There's no one around. Like, you can always find accommodation. You can always get like food and eats and drinks and stuff like in a not so busy kind of place. It's very, very easy. Very easy.
This trip has been considerably less about meeting people compared to the other ones.
Yeah. We still met quite some pretty cool
people. We met some people, but it just hasn't been as much of a focus, I think. And also, as we talked about, this trip is a bit different. Like, for instance, it's a much shorter trip. It's more than, or it's less than half, rather, than what we usually do.
Yeah.
So the focus, especially because New Zealand is such a beautiful country, the focus of wherever we go is like, all right, like what do we go to look at? It's all about the scenery. Yeah. It's not so much about doing activities as much as it is like going to a lookout and taking pictures.
Yeah, and the roads here are just awesome. Like if you enjoy driving, the roads here are incredible. And there's no other car than Legolas that I would want to be doing the bit.
So where did we rent
1.7 liter?
Where did we rent
beast
car?
Of a car?
Where did we rent this car?
Juicy Rentals.
I'm going up there, aren't I?
Yeah, go left. Juicy Rentals. 1.7 liters of pure fun. Horsepower is probably the best word to describe this car. Horsepower and torques.
Why wouldn't they say Picton here? Like, why?
Because we're at Tahanui.
Why?
So, yeah, beautiful roads, beautiful scenery, and the pictures and stuff that we're taking and posting along the way that you guys are all having a good look at. That's just pretty much pull and snap, isn't it?
Yeah, but they come out. They're
amazing.
White, nicely.
Yeah, don't have to be a very good photographer here to get a pretty good pic.
No, you don't.
As I'm finding it. What else?
But there's still people that are doing the vertical snap.
Yeah.
They need to be hanged.
That's right.
If you're doing vertical pictures, stop it. If
someone
hands you
exactly.
If someone hands you a camera and goes, "Hey, can you take a picture of me and my friend, or like me and my girlfriend?"
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Do that.
Unless you haven't, like, in case you haven't noticed, 99% of places that you're going to be looking at that picture are going to be a widescreen, horizontal display.
Landscape. Not
So don't take vertical photos unless you know what the hell you're doing.
Or if someone asks you to.
Yeah, hey, can you take a shitty photo that I never want to look at again?
Take me a vertical photo, please.
Nobody cares about the feet. Take it from here and up. Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
Like whenever we had our camera over, they'll start with the horizontal and then they always go, and we just like look at each other like, I'm gonna delete that.
Don't do
1
that
minute.
photo. just, yeah.
You idiot.
Thanks.
You just ruined my day. Yeah. And I did a skydive today. How about that? That's probably... I have a bucket list of like 75 or so items, and I think skydive is number one.
And you've done it.
It's been on there for a long time. And did it today here in Abel, Tasman, and which is, as I found out, and as anyone with common sense can figure out, it's probably one of the best places you can do a skydive because
Definitely.
the scenery is awesome. Like you have the mountains, you have the ocean that's like turquoise colored, the green. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And so I've never done it before. I was meant to do it 5 years ago when I was here. I'd signed the papers, I put my jumpsuit on, and they're like, oh, it's canceled because of the weather. But today, they just, we rocked up at 9 a.m. They took us into this room. I wasn't really nervous at all. And then they show you this video of people doing it. And that's when you start to get a little bit, like, it becomes a bit more real.
Yeah, but like, cause I've always found it hard to describe that feeling. Because for me, it's more excitement than nerves.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to do it. Like, I don't want to be sitting here watching other people. I want to be up there and do it.
Yeah, but it was more of, I guess, that was a promo video, and then there was the instructions, and then you jump in your jumpsuit and all that, and once you jump in the plane, it also starts to become more real, and then you take off, and I don't know, nobody really seemed that nervous in my group, but I was just enjoying the view, and I remember several times where I would just get a glimpse of the ocean or whatever, and I would just smile, like, this view is so good.
Yeah.
And I fucking love heights. Like, getting up somewhere and looking at a nice view is like one of my favorite things to do.
Yep.
So being up there, I wasn't really that nervous. It would kind of come and go a bit. And then by the time they opened the door, I really wasn't too nervous either. And then the three dudes that jumped in front of me, one of the guys we spoke to him before, he was just in training, like getting his certification. I could see he was jumping by himself, and he was just new to that, so he was shitting himself. Yeah, which I would have as well.
Fair enough too.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a entirely different story when you're the one pulling the chute.
Exactly, and in control of the landing and everything.
But there's something to be said about our mindset going into that sort of thing, because Mick's done 2 jumps before.
Yep.
And you're going up there and you're thinking about all kinds of what ifs, about things that can go wrong. And it's just not a good way to spend your thinking. Like, you could be looking at the view and taking it in. So I was doing a bit of that as well, even though I'm relatively like chilled out in general. And at a certain point I was like, you know what? This guy's done this so many times. How about I just leave it?
Were they messing with you at all?
No.
Oh, see, because when I did it, they were like, who are you jumping with? And I was like, Barry. And they're like, you got Barry. And I'm like,
no.
Yeah. And they're like, but he's never done a jump before. And I'm like, and I'm like, hey Barry, just a quick one. How many jumps have you done? And he, like, they would just mess with you, like, completely. Like, but when they tighten the harness, they retighten the harness when you're up there?
Yeah, they do.
Man, they make it tight.
Yeah, I couldn't, because they ask you to take like a deep breath and stuff, right before the jump, but the harness would pretty much prevent you from doing a full-on breath because it's so tight, which,
maybe that's why you couldn't breathe. Maybe that's why you couldn't breathe.
I don't know. I prefer that. But yeah. So yeah, after about half of the flight, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna trust this guy, and I'm just gonna focus on taking the view in, because I didn't pay like the $150 for the footage. It's too expensive, really.
Yeah.
Full?
Full.
Son of a...
The other thing though about skydiving that I would like, I don't know, recommend, I guess, it sort of doesn't really matter, like the jumping and that kind of feeling, like the excitement, the adrenaline, the nerves, all that, doesn't matter where you do it, you'll always get that feeling.
That's true.
But in terms of the scenery when you're actually in the air coming down, that's what really matters the most. Like the jump that Bobbe just did, the scenery is just incredible. The jumps that I've done before, the scenery hasn't been that good.
Right.
And maybe, like I was saying to Bobbe, like I got sort of bored, like when we were falling in the air. I had a minute of free fall, and like you know, especially on the second jump, you're a lot more composed, so you kind of, I don't know, you know what's going to happen, and so you're just chilling, and you're falling for a minute, and you're sort of like, okay. So if there's something to actually look at, then it'd be far more exciting. So that'd be the one thing that I would certainly say.
Yeah, and obviously I haven't done one in one of the less exciting places, but I can really see how, if you're thinking about doing one, taking the time to wait, or taking the time out of your day to go to a place where the scenery is nice, is going to be worth the extra time to do that.
Yeah, do it.
So hold out until, unless you want to do a shitload of them, hold out until you find like an awesome place to do it. Because once we jumped out, we did a backflip, and like right away, as soon as we leave the airplane, my first thought is, we're going backwards, and I'm doing this again. Like this is so awesome.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even seen the ground yet.
Yeah.
And then we do about 45 seconds of free fall, and my biggest thing was I couldn't breathe. Like I would try like breathing through my nose, try breathing through my mouth, and that was a bit uncomfortable. But I think I still managed to kind of enjoy the free fall and seeing everything. But the best part, I think, was once you eject the parachute and just looking at everything, and the guy asked me, you know, do you get motion sickness? And I was like, nope. And he just started like doing all kinds of turns and
spirals
and that was insane. Like all the blood just rushed to your feet.
Yeah.
And but that's when I really was enjoying the scenery. And I loved it. I fucking loved it, and I loved that people had kind of talked it down a bit for me. Like everyone that I've heard talk about skydiving, nobody has really been too crazy about it, to be honest, including you. It was kind of like, yeah, it was cool.
I love the rush of like jumping out of the plane. That was the cool thing.
Yeah.
The flight up sucks. It's so boring.
Yeah, but mine wasn't though, because of the scenery.
I was just like, this sucks. Like the flying up is terrible. It's that jump. Like I reckon I would seriously consider getting a license and like actually doing it by myself and jumping, because I reckon that would be like way more enjoyable. You know, just so much fun.
Yeah.
And especially if like you were able to convince some of your mates to do it with you, like that would just be awesome. It'd be so cool. But yeah, certainly a good way to start the day.
Fucking hell.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, just a 9 a.m. Jumping out of an airplane.
So I'm hoping to do the tower in Auckland, where you 192 meters. Is that what it was? And you jump off the tower. So that's what I'll hopefully be doing when we get up there in a couple of days.
Amazing. So yeah, that was the expectations. I think also helped me a lot. Like I didn't have high expectations.
Yeah,
so
makes a difference.
It was awesome.
Makes a difference.
So yeah, that's where we're at, and we are currently driving to Picton, where we're taking an expensive ferry to the North Island.
This is what we're looking at.
How much time we got left?
I think we've only got like
5 days.
Yeah, something like that. Not many.
Time's running out, and so is the battery on that camera.
Pretty much halfway. Yeah. So we'll check in again.
Well, we need to do shout-outs, bro.
Soon. Wow, we got a lot of shout-outs though. I reckon we need to charge the camera.
Nah, we'll see how we go.
Right.
I remember a few.
Go for it.
So Tang left us a message.
Tang, yep.
Just saying he was happy to see us on the road again. Thanks for the comment, Tang. We miss you, bro. We'll have to meet up at some point in the future.
Did Tang get another tat?
I think I saw something about that. Tell us about your tat.
How many hours was that one? I remember the wings on your back. Man, that was a good story. Anyway, Next.
And then there was another guy who I don't know who it is, Baseriot or something like that, who said he was like these podcasts are really well produced and
yeah, that was a really nice
cool
comment.
that you guys are on the road again, whatever. And I was genuinely happy to read that because we do put some time into these and much appreciated. So thanks for the feedback and the positivity.
What about the joke? Did you?
I haven't read the joke yet, but somebody's written a joke.
We'll read it. The internet here, we keep end up in places where we don't really have it.
We've been given an inappropriate joke on the comment section of the first podcast. So yeah, and
that one will get read out.
Just thanks to everyone tuning in because we keep being surprised at how many people are watching this, even though it's like 100 people and ends up being about 100 people. But when you put 100 people together, we're like, we can't believe people are watching this because obviously it's just us talking about what we're doing and we're kind of talking smack.
Really, that's what it is.
But it's really fun for us to see that someone else is getting enjoyment out of this as well. So please keep watching,
keep
send us some messages. We love getting your messages and
we'll read them out here.
We'll hit them up.
We'll
hit you up.
Anyway, to play us out. Have we got a link to that video? We need to put a link. To play us out.
What does that mean? To end the show? We end.
You know what?
Go.
We need to post some links to
too many inside jokes. People don't get what we're talking about.
Post some links so you can keep up to date with what
cool us.
Anywho,
we'll check in from the North Island very soon.
We got the ferry soon, so we'll check in on the north side.
Ciao.